Senpai.
Cosplay in the Black nerd community is a hot button issue for a multitude of reasons. Steadfast fanboys and fangirls of different varying TV shows, mangas, and anime feel as if because of the melanated tone of a cosplayer's skin that they themselves are not allowed to be that character. Cosplay itself is defined as the practice of dressing up as a character from a movie, book, or video game. Used as a verb, it means to engage in cosplay. Granted, definitions go far beyond just their literate definition of what they are and can mean different things as it concerns real life, as it concerns the practical use of those words. But I think as it concerns cosplay, the dictionary definition is the definition. It's just a person dressing up as another person. It's just costume play. That's it. And I feel like the counter arguments to these would be, oh well, if I cosplay as a black character, I should paint my skin. And it's like, no, you can, outside of the character being purple, green, blue, um, outside of the character having these distinct colors, um, I don't see it necessary to augment what your skin tone is to dress as these characters. And even still, then, um, a character like Piccolo, for say, where he does have the green skin, he has a distinct enough color palette within his costuming. He has a distinct enough look within his costume that someone can look at you and be like, oh, you're supposed to be Piccolo without having to completely and totally paint your skin green. And I would like it to just be an issue about, oh, this character is white, so they need to be white. But it's far beyond that. And there are underlying racial issues as it concerns black cosplayers in the mainstream media. If you look up top 10 cosplayers, of the top 10 on most listed websites, you'll be lucky if you see one black cosplayer on a list outside of you specifically looking up top 10 black cosplayers, top 10 African American cosplayers. Then those lists have those people you're looking for. But in my opinion, and I could have a biased opinion as it concerns nerddom, as it concerns cosplay, but some of the best aren't just white. There's some pretty amazing cosplayers out there. And it may not cause for mention if it was just one cosplay, one person did, the community at large had an issue with. But it's a reoccurring story.
What you're about to listen to is a paid advertisement.
Mr. Kenneth Eugene St. Andrew, a well known American fantasy author, game designer, best known for his work with the tabletop roleplay game Tunnels and Trolls and Wasteland, and has been an active member of the Science Fiction and Fantasies Writers of America since 1989, recently got into trouble on Twitter for some offhanded comments that were made. Mr. Andrew inserted himself into a conversation. Twitter user Amazar, AMMOURAZZ, posted one last thing. Even if Canada and or Toronto and or London were not all racist, and this was entirely against the norm, in quotations, they are not, and it isn't. It's not sufficient for a place or space to be not racist. It must be anti-racist. It must be specifically hostile towards racists. Mr. Andrew responded by saying, "Why? What gives you the right to tell others how they must be?" So, a couple thoughts. One, if a conversation isn't pertaining to you, your lifestyle, um, any views, thoughts, or opinions that you can add to elevate the conversation any further, maybe it's just not for you. You live in the United States, Mr. Andrew. Um, I don't know your life, but I'm sure you have zero to no connections with anyone that's in London, that's in the United Kingdoms, that's in those places that that person was speaking about. Again, no one has the right to tell somebody what they can and cannot say, what they can and cannot feel like. But at the exact same time, um, there's a universal truth as it surrounds Black people in the world. Unfortunately, as of right now, um, politically speaking, financially speaking, um, this isn't a story for everyone, but for a lot of Black people, there is discrimination, there is racism, and it's just not enough right now. I agree with the original post. It's not enough just to be not racist. You have to be anti-racist because you have to swing on the other end and let the pendulum fall with decent human decency.